Lions TV, this is the Den Daily, bringing you all the latest gossip, views and transfer news from in and around the Den. As you can see, I am not at Lions TV Towers. I've come for my annual trip down to my parents' house at the end of the season on the seaside for a few days, possibly a week, they don't know that yet, in the sun, to take a break from YouTube videos, to take a break from football and life in general. And then this morning, bam, you wake up to an absolutely massive headline, and that is that CEO Steve Kavanagh and Director of Football and Head of Recruitment Alex Aldridge have both left the club. I don't know yet whether it's by mutual consent. I don't know whether they walked or whether they was pushed. There is so many questions that as of now still remained unanswered, as the club haven't yet released a statement. It is Friday. Richard Cowley broke that news about 9 AM. I've not long been awake, and I expect the club to make some sort of statement today at some point. I don't think they're going to want to let that drag over the weekend. Weirdly, I've got a couple of WhatsApp groups that I'm involved in through Lions TV and the Box Room, etc. And last night that popped up in one of the WhatsApp groups. Now, I said, someone asked me, what do I know? And I said, I've heard absolutely nothing. I made a phone call or two, couldn't find anything out, a few players and all of that, etc. But then this morning, wallop, that happens. This is huge news. And is it good news or is it bad news? I know it's a mixed bag already from what I posted on social media this morning. And let's just wind it back now straight away. A lot of people pissed off how Steve Kavanagh and Alex Aldridge got their jobs at football. Looking at Aldridge, listen, I'll be honest with you, I can't have anything but respect for him. I'm not saying what he's done for Millwall Football Club, but he did something very similar to what I did, and through doing that, worked himself into a position where he's got involved with the club and got involved in professional football. So you can't take that away from him. He's championship manager in his mum's basement. I've said it a million times, but that, through starting news at Den, has eventually got him a little bit of weight, and he's ended up being head of recruitment at Millwall before leaving and going to Stoke and being replaced by Harvey Bustle. Didn't last long, and eventually was brought back to the club by Kavanagh. Has his recruitment been great? I don't think it's been terrible. I do refer back to a lot that Neil Harris, you know, the mainstay of our team right now, are all Harris-es. I'm talking about Bradshaw, Saville, Leonard, Cooper, Murray Wallace. I know Bart's left now, but Bart, Hutchinson. You know, they were, for me, the mainstay of our championship existence for the last 6, 7, 8 years now. Not really ever been Alex Aldridge or Gary Rowett players. We've had Zian Fleming and we've had Casper De Noor. Joe Bryan, always injured, not a bad bit of recruitment. Of course, there's others in there, but no one really that you look and you go, yeah, that's the core of what Rowett created with Alex Aldridge. So Aldridge is gone. I don't care whether he was a postman or he was playing championship manager. I don't feel we've done terribly at his time at the club, but he's gone regardless. He got a lot of hate. I've been doing live streams regularly, or even, you know, yeah, really live streams, and people would comment, get Alex Aldridge out of the club. I felt, and I've said that in my live streams, he was being made a little bit of a scapegoat, you know. It is the manager's decision ultimately. You know, the recruitment can go and source these players. The manager gets the final say, or the chairman. So he's gone. Is it a good thing? I think it is. You know, I'm not taking anything away from what he's done in his career or the time he's out at the club. I don't know the guy. But definitely it's time for a freshen up and going into next season now. I'll move on to that in a minute. But looking at Kavanagh, I've had dealings with Kavanagh in the past. He would probably say he didn't like the way I carried myself. I definitely didn't like the way he carried himself on the phone to me. But I won't go into that. That's long in the past. Again, look, you can't take away from Kavanagh, whether he was an accountant before, whether his kids have got West Ham season tickets, which a lot of people say that they have. That's all by the by. You can't take away, if you're going to put us in that bracket and say that's what we've achieved in the last 8 years as a club, going from League One back to the Championship and stabilising in the division, you have to give some sort of credit to Kavanagh for that. Say whether he's fucking was a number cruncher previously, I don't know. Everyone progresses in their career, and you can't take away from him the position he worked himself into. And I thought, you know, aside from my personal dealings with him, I felt that he carried himself quite well at the club. I might be completely wrong on that. I don't really know him too well, so I don't want to go into detail and start causing havoc. So let me know if you've had any dealings with Kavanagh or anything you know that I don't in the comments. But look, like I said, we've done this in the last 8 years. Look at the post the other day from Scunthorpe in the playoffs when it was 7 years ago since we beat them. Look where they are now in the National League North, and look where we are now. So you have to give some sort of credit to Kavanagh for that. But let's get on to a more slightly critical side. Did they walk or was they pushed? Well, at the minute it's saying they left the club. And there's a replacement already in place for Alex Aldridge. So if they left, I'm taking from that they've walked, but the club must have known to already have a head of recruitment lined up, which I'll get onto in a minute. But look, I mean, I don't want to go into rumours too much, all right? But I did hear, and it could be completely false, because we're all fans, and we all hear rumours. I heard that him and Aldridge were thick as thieves, and they spoke a lot about, you know, trying to get a job in the FA. That's what I heard. Could be completely wrong. That's just a rumour, and I'm not fucking starting anything or putting myself in the firing line. But that's the only real negatives I ever heard, that they was as thick as thieves behind the scenes, which is understandable. They work closely together. It's probably good that they've got that relationship. The idea they was proper clicky, thick as thieves, and as I said, they was just always talking about wanting to work for the FA. So maybe they'll go and do that. Look, I don't think it's a bad thing, but you've got to say that as CEO, Kavanagh was a big part of this club. And he done all right in my book, so I mean, I'm not going to slag him off. This is a bit of a whirlwind this morning. I'm not really sure how to approach it, so I've just sort of gone off the cuff. So far I think it's going all right. But look, what happens now? I'm taking from this, the other side of it may be that, okay, they didn't walk and they've left, and I'm sure the club will, well, they probably won't confirm in due course, because they always leave it a little bit under the umbrella, don't they, and under the radar. But he's gone, and I'm thinking now that, in my positive mind, this could be the next level for us now. James Berylson, of course, is now our chairman, and he's maybe got rid of those two, especially in terms of the head of recruitment. He wants someone now that can take us forward. With a new season coming, he may be going to give us a bit of budget, and he's probably thinking, is Alex Aldridge the man to give that budget to? And do I want Steve Kavanagh running this club? I think that's a little bit away from the football. I think the Aldridge thing is more, you know, more football-based. So he has gone, Alex Aldridge, and they're already lining up his replacement. And that man is Steve Gallen. I think he's the brother of ex-QPR striker Kevin Gallen. He did start his youth career at QPR, never really played, flitted around with Doncaster, and then he went into a brief stint in management in Hong Kong, and then he became the head of recruitment, don't get the hump, at Charlton in 2017 until 2023. And then he left the club, and most recently until he still is the Montserrat assistant manager, once again to Lee Bowyer. So he's got ties with Lee Bowyer, he's got ties with Charlton. Again, I've seen a little bit of negativity around this because people are saying we need to aim higher. I spoke to someone who has had a son involved in the Charlton setup, etc., and he apparently is quite highly regarded. Now, some of you in the comments on the Facebook one I saw especially, it's fair enough. Oh, that works out well, recruiting for Charlton, where they've gone over the last few years. But he can only put players forward. He can't literally manage a team and, you know, pick 11 players. He can only put players forward. So I'm going to take the positives out of this. Definitely needed a freshen up, in my opinion. And it will be very interesting to see when they do announce it. They haven't announced it yet, but the Messiah, Richard Cowley, has said it is going to happen. So it will happen. And look, I'll bring you more on this when it comes. The sun is out. I'm sweating my tits off. But for now, the news is that CEO Steve Kavanagh and head of recruitment Alex Aldridge have left Millwall Football Club. It is the soap opera that just keeps on giving this team, with Steve Gallen already waiting in the wings to be Alex Aldridge's replacement. Please subscribe to Lions TV. Come on, you Lions.